In this video, we're going to learn about joins using SQL. Let's go. A join is basically taking two tables or more and merging them. So we can get a new table with the information that we chose from each of them. Let's see this in a more visual way. Here in this slide, you are seeing 4 Venn diagrams. Remember that in Venn diagrams, what we do is that we create sets and then we can combine them. This is the easiest way to understand SQL joins. Right now, in the 4 diagrams, you see a pattern. You have a purple set and a yellow set in each of the boxes. I want you to imagine those sets as tables. So we have a purple table and a yellow table. And now we're gonna see what are the different joins that we can do with these two set of tables, the purple one and the yellow one. So let's start with the inner join. In the inner join, what you are going to do, same as if you were using Venn diagrams, is that we are gonna do an intersection. So we are only gonna get the elements, or in this case rows, because we are thinking in tables, that match between the purple set and the yellow set. So that will be our intersection that is right here in the middle. That's an inner join. Now let's think about a left join. In a left join, what we are going to do is that we're going to take all the elements from the left set, in this case the purple one, plus the elements of the intersection between the left and the right set, in this case this place. So it's all the left, all the purple, plus the intersection. In the case of tables, we're going to take all the rows of the left table, the purple table, plus the rows that matches the right table. Any other row that doesn't match is left behind. We will not retrieve it. Now let's see the third type of join, that is a right join. This is the opposite to the left join. What we're going to do is that we're going to take all the elements from the right table plus the intersection with the left table. So we're going to take all the rows from the yellow table plus the rows that matches in the intersection with the purple table. Anything that doesn't matches from the left table or the purple table, we will leave it behind. And finally, our fourth join is the full join. And this is basically taking everything and put it all together in the same table. So we're going to take all the information from the purple table, the left table, and all the information from the yellow table, that is the right table, merge them all together, and from that we're going to get a new table with all of the rows from each tables just in one place. Now let's see each join with a real example, so it's a lot easier for you to understand what we are actually doing. First, let's take a quick look to the layout of the slide. Here at the top, we have the Venn diagram explaining what is the inner join. In the middle, we're going to have our two tables that in this case are going to be Meta Ads and Google Ads. And here at the end, we have the resulting table from merging both of them. Remember that in an inner join, our focus is to get the intersection between both tables. So here we have the Meta Ads table that has the columns campaign, spend, and clicks, and the Google Ads table that has the columns campaign, cost, and conversions. So what we are going to do is that we are going to match only the rows that are equivalent in both tables. Whenever you are doing SQL joins, to merge the tables, you will need something that is called primary key. A primary key is a column that has unique values and that appears in both tables. So in this case, we're going to merge the Meta Ads and Google Ads campaign with the campaign column. Why with the campaign column? Because it's the column that both tables share and that has unique values inside of them. So let's take a look to that. In the Meta Ads table, we have the campaign column. In the Google Ads table, we have the campaign column. And the name of each campaign should be different. We shouldn't have duplicated names. So we are assuming that all the campaigns have a different name, and we are going to merge them between Google Ads and Meta Ads. So what would be the resulting? Since we are doing an inner join, we are only going to take the results that matches exactly in the Meta Ads and in the Google Ads. So you can see that in both tables, the campaigns that matches their campaign name is Brand US and Promo Europe. So we are only going to get those two rows. And we're going to get the rest of the columns from both tables. So we have the campaign column, then we have the meta spend, that is this column, then we have the clicks from meta, that is this column, and then we have Google cost and conversions. And that's how we are going to do our inner join. We are only taking the rows that matches in both tables. Now let's take a look to a left join. Okay, now we're gonna see the second type of join, the left join. Here at the top, we are seeing the Venn diagram, and you can see that we are gonna cross Meta Ads and Google Ads tables. Remember that when we do a left join, what we essentially do is that we take all the information from the left table, in this case, the Meta Ads table, plus the information in the intersection between the Meta Ads table and the Google Ads table. A primary key, as in the inner join example, will be our column campaign. Why? Because the column campaign is the one that both tables shared. We have it here in the Meta Ads table and here in the Google Ads table. And inside this campaign, we have unique identifiers. So we have unique campaign names. In this case, in the Meta Ads, we have brand US, promo Europe, summer sale, and in Google Ads, we have brand US, promo Europe, and search Mexico. So now let's understand the logic of this left join. Essentially, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take all the information from the Meta Ads table because it's the left table, and we're gonna add the information from the Google Ads table to the rows that matches based on the primary key that we set, that was the campaign. So the resulting query will be this one. We have brand US, promo Europe, and summer sale, because those are the three campaigns we have inside the meta ads table. But now let's take a look to the columns. Since we did the left join, we have a campaign column, a meta spend column, that is this one right here, a clicks column, that is this one. And since we did the merge, now we are bringing information to the matching rows. In this case, the matching rows were brand US and promo Europe, because in both tables they have the same name. So we have brand US, promo Europe, brand US, promo Europe, and now we are bringing the information from the table in the right, that was the Google Ads table. So for these two campaigns, we are bringing the column Google cost and conversions. Notice that in the summer sale, in the Google cost and conversion column, it appears as null. Why it appears as null? Because this campaign that is in Meta Ads, it does not exist in the Google Ads table. So we don't have data of what were the cost of the summer sale campaign inside Google Ads, or what were the conversions of the summer sale campaign in Google Ads, because that campaign doesn't exist here in the right table. So this is how the resulting table will be after we do a left join. Now let's see the opposite, a right join. Remember that in a right join, we take all the information from the right table plus the information that matches between the right and the left table. In this case, what we are going to do, we're going to take all the information from the right table, in this case, the Google Ads table, and for the matching rows, we're going to add the information from the meta ads table. So the resulting query will be this one. We will have the column campaign with all the campaigns from the Google Ads table. You can see it here, brand US, promo Europe, and search Mexico, because those are the three campaigns of this table. And the rest of the columns of this resulting table will be the meta spend, that you have it here, the clicks, that it comes from here, Google cost, it comes from here, and the conversions, that it comes from here. If you notice, in the third row, the search Mexico campaign, this campaign only exists in the right table. Here, this search Mexico campaign doesn't exist in the meta ads table in the left. So since we are doing a right join, we are taking all data from the right table. So we will have the search Mexico because it belongs to the right table, the Google Ads. But in the columns that came from the left table, the values will be null because this search Mexico campaign doesn't exist here. In this case, the meta spend and clicks, the value for this search Mexico campaign that only exists here in Google Ads will be null. because in this table, meta ads, this campaign doesn't exist, so we don't have a way to put a value to it. But if you see here in the Google cost and conversions, we have 420 that matches this 420 of cost in Google Ads and 55 conversions. That matches the number of conversions inside the Google Ads table. And this is how the tables will behave when you are doing right joins. Okay, now we're gonna see the full join, our last type of join. In this case, we are gonna join all the rows from the meta ads table and all the rows from the Google Ads table. We're gonna do it using our primary key campaign because it's the column that is shared between both tables and it has unique values inside of it. And the resulting query will be this one. We are bringing the columns campaign, meta spend that comes from the meta ads table, clicks that comes from the meta ads table, Google cost that comes from the Google Ads table, and conversions that comes from the Google Ads table. And also, we are bringing all the campaigns from both tables, not only the matching ones. So we are not only bringing brand US and promo Europe, that were the matching rows in both tables. We are also bringing summer sale that only exists in the meta ads table and the campaign Search Mexico that only exists in Google Ads. So let's take a look at the null values. Since we are bringing everything in the summer sale, in the columns that comes from the Google Ads table, we have null values because this summer sale campaign doesn't exist in the Google Ads table. And in the Search Mexico campaign, we have null values in the columns that comes from the meta ads table that are meta spend and clicks because this Search Mexico campaign doesn't exist here inside the meta ads table. As you can see, these joins are quite complex and requires a lot of logic. Many times when you do joins, you will find out that you will get duplicated values and it will be hard to understand the resulting table. If you want to avoid all of this and do this the easy way with your marketing data sources, I highly recommend you use our tool, Porter Metrics. We already manage the joins between all of these marketing data sources, such as Meta Ads, Google Analytics, HubSpot, Shopify, Klaviyo, MailChimp. We have already done a video that you can click in the top right corner right now to see how you can get tables like this right inside your Google BigQuery without thinking in all of these joins of marketing data sources. We already take care of all of these joins that delay you from getting all your data and understanding it. In the next video, I'm gonna teach you about data blending.